Hi guys, my name is Girish, Bali, the host for Back to Basics, another Back to Basics for another week. So guys, today we're going to talk to you about, what are we going to talk about? We're talking about lifestyle. We're going to talk to you about what we need to improve, what we don't need to improve, do's and the don'ts really. And today we're going to talk to you with Dr. G. I spoke with Dr. G earlier during the week, and she gave me approval that I can call her Dr. G, but her name is Dr. Giselle, just to be clear. So, Dr. G, thank you for coming on my show. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me on your
Awesome.
show. I'm happy to be here, Girish.
Thank you so much for coming here. And we've been playing phone tags and emails, and finally we got here and together. So before we start the talk about the lifestyle and everything else and what you do and don't do, um, what does back to basic mean to you?
Good question. To me, back to basic just means to be yourself, right? To be authentic. Because if we're ourselves and we live our core values and we don't have to worry about what society thinks of us, what other people thinks of us, and it's just easy to feel that we're worthy of being in this life and that we just do the best that we can, right? It's just being
Yeah, so
ourselves.
I mean, it's kind of weird that we're coming to a time that this is how we think, and this is the new,
Mhm.
what is this, a new normal that we should be thinking, or it should have been this way? Which way do you think is best?
Well, I agree with you. It should have been this way, right? It should always be this way. But it seems like sometimes we forget a little bit about being true to ourselves, and
Yeah,
we're too busy trying to keep up with the Joneses. And it's just like this is why I really like your podcast about just being back to basics, right? Just
yeah,
being back to who we are.
yeah. Thank you so much for that, by the way, and thanks for coming on my show. So, so let's talk about who are you, why are you, and what do you do?
Who am I? Well, when people ask me, what do you do? I say, I improve quality of life. This is one of my passions. In terms of, usually we answer the question in terms of what do we do, what's our job,
Yeah,
right? And
yeah,
for me, it's a passion more than a job. So I improve quality of life, but I do it in different ways. I'm a clinical exercise physiologist.
hmm
So I do help people with their health habits, their physical activity, and their nutrition, especially eating fruit and vegetables, because we know we don't eat enough of that.
that
And I also help young kids who want to become personal trainers and help them see the importance of working with older adults, for example. There's so much ageism going on,
hmm
right? So I teach psychology of exercise, exercise physiology, but the class that I love to teach is the one that looks at special population older adults. So how do we treat older adults and how we can help them to be physically active even in their old age, which is really a great thing. And then the other side of me is more the academic geek, where I do peer review articles for academic journals. And then the last thing that I really like as well is helping people with their relationships, right? Looking at how can we develop the emotional tools that we need,
hmm.
the emotional skills we need to navigate our relationships, because we are social beings and we'll always be in and out of relationships and there'll be ups and downs. So using the psychological concept that I know, but in a non-clinical way, and I do that with a business partner, and we help people through some Zoom events doing
Yeah,
that.
thank you so much. So out of those three and four things, which hat do you prefer?
Oh, see, I can't say. It's like choosing between your kids,
Yeah, yeah,
it's difficult because you love them all, but you love them all differently because they bring you different things. And
sure.
I'm passionate about having people eat vegetables. I know it sounds funny, but because it's so key, right? Because if we take care of ourselves, what we put in our mouths, how we fuel our body, everything else will be easier,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So I am passionate about that. So that's one of the key things that I love
Hmm.
talking about. Every day I tell people every single day to eat their vegetables.
Yeah, well, I mean, isn't that when we used to say you're supposed to eat broccoli and spinach just to make yourself strong? I mean, that's how it used to be, right? So,
We used to say that, but I mean, what's interesting is that we can develop a taste for vegetables the more we eat, the more we can actually develop the palate for that.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
but it's good for us. It really is. It's
yeah.
good for our immune system. It's good for us.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
So, you think the answer is going to be different before and then after COVID? That which one
Uh,
is a little, I don't
my
know.
answer or
Yeah, your
the
answer.
answer? No, I don't think so. I've been telling people to eat their vegetables forever.
Okay, okay.
So,
So
so I don't
thank
think
you.
my answer would have changed.
Yeah, thank you so much for that. So, is there like a behavior change that have you seen and people ask you for questions? Well, let me rephrase that. What are the top
Hmm.
three issues that you've been seeing before and
The
after
top
COVID?
three issues that I see, people want to lose weight.
Yes.
Definitely that would be a number one. They want to lose weight, but they want to do it fast.
Okay.
It's like, I want to lose 20 pounds and I want to do it by tomorrow. That's the thing, right? Or in a week, because I have a wedding to go to. Or I'm going to visit my son, or, and I haven't seen him in a year. And actually, this is a true example, and I want them to see that I've lost weight. So weight loss is a huge, and I think it's a huge issue for some people, and I think we should look at it more as weight management instead of losing the weight, because you can lose the weight. That's actually, losing weight is not that hard. People are going to, your listener may not want to hear that,
Yeah.
because if you follow whatever it is you follow, you will lose the weight, right? Whatever the diet is or your regimen, the thing is, how do you keep it off?
Mm.
And also, why are you doing it?
Mm.
Right? Is it a
So-
health issue?
So
Right?
regarding weight loss, or I should say weight management, do you think it's more weight loss or more toning?
In terms of what people ask, or what do
people
I?
ask, or what do you think is the best?
Well, I think, yeah, and I think people ask also more spot reduction, right? It's like, for some people, it's like, well, I have this weight or this extra fat around my waist. How do I get rid of that? Or some women might say, well, it's in my, behind my arms. How do I get rid of that?
Sure.
And the thing is, you can't spot reduce, right? It has to be a total body thing. And we have to, once we change our perspective and we change our mindset, and we look at the health benefits, and we forget about the numbers on the scale, and we focus on being healthy, then things start changing.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm sorry to say, but back in the days when they used to say, if you want to lose weight, it means that you're eating shit and taking shit out. So it all depends on what you eat and what you become. I think that's the key. Exercise is another issue altogether, but depending on what you eat, that's the nutrition. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's absolutely correct. Actually, in terms of exercise is great to help you maintain the weight loss.
Sure.
But in terms of to lose the weight, it's not the best thing. And there's some research papers on that, and there's actually some research that I've done that's been published with a colleague of mine. You could lose maybe 17-20% of weight loss.
Sure.
Might be attributed to exercise, but then you gain it back.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah, of course.
So
If
we
you
have
don't
to make
maintain
sure
it,
that
you are definitely going to gain it back for sure.
absolutely.
And what are
yeah.
the other two issues that you have found?
So weight loss is the number one, and I find that people often ask about not having any energy, or they feel like, oh, well, I feel tired all the time. I don't have energy to do anything, and it's kind of related to their eating habits as well. Right? Eating habits and mindset. Often people think that they don't have I don't have the willpower to do what it is I want to do. Yet I find that once they decide, it's a decision that we make, right? Once you decide that you want to do something and you put your mind to it, you can do it. Because I think we're capable of doing anything that we want to. We just have to make the decision. And sometimes it's hard to make that decision, right?
Yeah,
Changing habits, it's a hard thing to do.
But Dr. G, I think what really happens in the real world is that when we go for a blood test or when we go for a yearly checkup and the doctor says you need to do X, I think that's when we react instead of being proactive. Don't you agree with that?
Yes. It's all, it's like the health belief model, where unless there's a crisis, we don't feel like we need to take care of it. Because really, in our young age, like the kids who are 20 now, they should be thinking about taking care of their health for later, but they don't see that because they see that, oh, well, I'm active in the sense that,
Sure.
I get up in the morning, I have energy, but they don't realize that what they put in their mouth, what they, even the thoughts in their mind, all of those things are going to contribute to their health later on in life.
Hmm.
And of course, there's genetics a little bit, maybe 30% of it is
Sure,
genetics,
sure.
but really we should think about prevention instead of treatment.
Yeah.
Right? But some people, it's not easy to do. I
No,
have
of
to say
course
it's
not.
not easy.
Of course not. So let me just
Yeah.
explain to my viewers here. So, guys, when we are trying to lose weight, or when you're trying to tone yourself, when you're trying to exercise, when you're trying to move, just be a little motivated. I know it's tough because you have never done it before, but you have to make that first step. When you make that first step, I'm telling you, you are gonna have a revelation in your mind saying, "Why didn't I do this before?" The other thing is, please do not, and I please do not go to the gym right after your doctor says you need to do this. How about just do it every day? It's like saying you when you say happy birthday to someone, it is only once a year. How about just talking to that person every day? It's the same process for your health. Why can you do this every day? That's how I look at it. I hope that's correct, Dr. G, and I hope.
Yeah, I like that. It's like creating a habit.
Yeah,
Right? Because often the doctor will say, go, you need to exercise, but they don't tell you how. And then you go to the gym and you're overwhelmed and you don't know what to do.
exactly.
And sometimes the benefits are not seen right away, especially with exercise, because it's more psychological benefit that we'll see, we'll start feeling better. But if people go with the goal, I'm going to lose weight, and they don't see that they're losing weight, then they get discouraged, right?
That's right.
So it's really about building the habits slowly, and you're going to feel better. I guarantee you, you're going to feel better. The human body was made to move, so we just need to move, and whatever that means to you,
Yeah.
right? Because you can move in your house.
Yeah.
You
that's
can
true.
walk the hallways, go up and down the stairs. It doesn't have to be in the gym.
Totally. And then what is the third major thing that you usually get asked? You get the weight loss and energy, and what's the third thing?
The weight loss, energy, and then with the other thing that I do in terms of relationships, and why do I attract the same kind of people all the time? It seems like it's for me. Everything happens to me, so it's more about how to navigate life.
Mhm.
And the people that talk to me anyways, think that things happen to them instead of so it's like I don't have any responsibility in what's happening to me in my life, right? It's because
Yeah.
person A, they've done this, they've said that. It's always them. So it's just about taking responsibility for our lives, and that's a really key thing. Once we change our mindset and we're responsible for what we do and what we say and what happens to us, then we can change things, right?
But then, Dr. G, don't you think, how would that person know that they are going to a same trend over and over again with the same similar guy with different guy, obviously?
Well, I think that it's when they get into an impasse, right? It's like when you said like the crisis with health, and whether a doctor says it's kind of the same thing with a relationship. When it's like, okay, things are not going well, it's the same thing that happened in my last relationship. Why is that?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then we realize that, okay, the common denominator is us, right? It's not the other person. So there's got to be something that we do. So it's just like, again, trying to find out, knowing who we are, getting to know our core values, our attachment style, all of those things that will help, our personality, just understanding ourselves.
Yeah, but there are
Awareness.
certain times that the person does not realize it, because when they reach rock bottom, and I think what rock bottom means that, for many, many years, they have not found the right relationship. So I think that's a rock bottom. I don't know what's the right answer
Yeah. And it might be different for
for everybody.
right?
Yeah.
What is rock bottom? It depends.
Yeah.
It depends on the
So
person.
thank you so much for that, by the way. So Dr. Giselle, or I should say Dr. G, there is a program that you start, right? I think it's called M.E.D.S.
Yes.
Can you
So the
explain
program is
that?
called M.E.D.S.
Yeah.
Yeah, you kind of read my mind because I was going to to talk about that. So M.E.D.S is an acronym for M is for movement. So M is exercise, right? So movement, we should move. As I said, the body is made to move, so we should be doing our exercises. And again, like I said, it doesn't have to be in the gym. You can, as long as you're active, right? Take the stairs instead of the elevator, walk if you can, those things. So E is for eat, and you know what I'm going to say, right? Eat your fruit and vegetables. So making sure that you get all the nutrients that you want. So when I talk about eating, I look at the eating pattern, the quality of the food, and then the quantity of food that we eat.
Mhm.
So D is for drink, and I mean water, or at least stay hydrated. It's sometimes people say, "Well, do I need to eat 8 glasses of water a day?" Not necessarily, because if you're really tall and big, you may need more water than someone who's really tiny. So usually we'll say it's half of your body weight in pounds. So if you weigh 160 pounds, for example,
Mhm.
then you're going to drink 80 ounces of water a day
Mhm.
or liquids. So making sure that herbal tea can count. So you want to make sure that, you know, there's not a lot of caffeinated drinks in that because, you know, they're diuretics. And then the S is for sleep, because sleep is so important. This is when we repair the body. So we want to make sure we get quality sleep. And people ask how many hours? It depends. Some people can function on 5 hours of sleep as long as it's good quality sleep. You get
Yeah.
into your REM sleep, then you're okay.
Yeah. Thank you so much for that.
That's the
So
program.
guys, the four obviously the 5 letter or is a 4 letter word. 4 letter word.
Four letter words,
It's
yeah.
called MEDS. MEDS. Now that's movement, eat, drink, and sleep. Am I right, Dr. Giselle?
Yes,
So
you're right.
so now
That's right.
now few weeks back when I actually posted a episode on my show, I called crap versus food. So the CRAP is the abbreviation of what I came up with, is C for carbohydrate drinks, R is for refined sugar, A is for artificial sugarness and colors, and then P is for processed food. That's what I come up with, and that's your crap food. So the food abbreviation is fruits and veggies, which is your vegetables. O is for organic lean protein. The other O is for omega 3, you know, the fatty acids that we usually need also. And D is for drinking water. So
That
basically,
is awesome.
so that those are the abbreviations that I came up with on my show, and hopefully you'll listen to it and you tell me if you like it or don't. So do let me know.
Oh,
Thank you.
well, so far, I love those acronyms. That's excellent.
Yeah.
And with your permission, I'm going to use that as well and say, Girish says,
Yeah, you should. You should.
crap
No problem.
versus food. I think it's great. I think it's awesome.
Anytime. Thank you so much for that.
I
So,
think it's great.
Giselle, you have done so much, and I've seen your website, I've seen your work, and I've seen you on Clubhouse and everything else. What is for the next 5 years for your plan?
Oh, the plan is to continue to, you know, I'm happy doing what I'm doing now. So I don't really see it changing, but maybe expanding.
Okay.
Like doing more. I have a couple of books that I'd like to write. I do have a book that I've written, but it's more of an academic thing that would be really putting people to sleep if they don't like that kind of reading. But I would like to take that information and then put it more into layman's term so that it can be practical, right? I like when things are practical for people. So I see myself maybe writing a little bit more and having maybe more e-courses that people can do. So it's just finding the information and practicing it and looking at it on their own time. So I think now that people are used to digital courses, right, with COVID, it's just a new way to learn. So I see myself doing a lot more of that, but continuing with the 4 pillars that I do with the relationships and helping people eat more fruit and vegetables, and continuing at the university, and then with my clients with exercise physiology.
Yeah, I think the correct word for you is not that what else are you going to be doing, is how to enhance what you're doing. So
Yes.
I thank you for that, Dr. G, and I hope you do well whatever you do, and hopefully you'll come back to my show and give me some more insights on more crap or more meds or more food. So we're depending on which angles that we
Yes.
should talk about next time.
Yes, I'll come on your show to give you crap. No, I won't do that.
Yes, of course, of course. Thank you so much for that. Any last words before you head out from my show today?
No, I just want to tell people, like, to be yourself, go back to basics, because that's a great concept, and just keep at it and be motivated. You're worth it, so keep moving, and good luck, everyone.
Yeah, thank you so much, Dr. Giselle, for coming on my show and making my show brighter, and definitely honored, and hopefully we'll stay in touch, right, even after this show.
Oh, wonderful. Yes, I would love to stay in touch. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, so guys, we spoke with Dr. Giselle today, and we talked about the few things about this episode today. We talked about the weight loss, how weight loss is so needed, or is it weight management? That's the key. The other is energy, which means we don't feel motivated when we move around or anything like that. We're just not motivated enough to move. But it's okay. But the thing is that we always need a will. When there's a will, there's a way. That's what I say. Second is the relationships. I know there's some relationship issues with which we go down rock bottom, but that's okay. That's what Dr. Giselle is trying to help out with people on this. Now, usually there is a quote of the day, but usually this episode we have given enough quotes of the day. Which one is that? That is your crap, food, and meds. We get a crap, and then we get food, and then we get meds at the end. So how about you listen to the episode and tell me what are the crap, what is the food, and what is the med. So that is Back to Basics episode today. So guys, as usual, as always, the last thing, what do I say at the end of the episode? Everything in life goes back to basics, and that's what we did today, guys. Guys, take care, God bless, and keep on comment as much as you can. Good, bad, ugly, either way, it'll make my shows great and stronger day by day, week by week. Guys, take care, God bless, and I'll see you next week. Next week's episode on Back to Basics. Saying that, it's good. So how do you feel after that? But then the question comes, how do you feel after 10 minutes later? Mm-hmm. So how do you play with that scenario?
So number one thing is reminding ourselves that the food industry and fast food especially, they have this down to a science. They know exactly how much salt, how much sugar that's going to spark those hormones in our brains. So fire off like, I love this. Yeah. And get us addicted to it. And so reminding ourselves that sure, it's probably something that feels really good